Hey, welcome. Today we are diving deep into one of the most powerful ideas in all of investing, dividends. We're going to take this from just a simple payout to a true wealth-building powerhouse. Okay, let's get right into it. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? You buy a piece of a company, and yeah, you hope the price goes up. But what if there was another way? What if the company could just pay you simply for being an owner, sharing its success directly with you? Well, that's what dividends are all about, and it's exactly what we're going to break down today. All right, let's start at square one. Before we can get to the powerful stuff, we've got to understand the fundamentals. So, what exactly is a dividend? Think of it this way. When a company has a good year and makes a profit, it has a choice. It can pour all that cash back into growing the business, or it can share a piece of the pie directly with its owners. And who are the owners? That's you, the shareholders. That piece of the pie is the dividend. It's basically the company saying, hey, thanks for believing in us. Here's your cut. Now, here's something you've got to know. Not all dividends are the same. You've got your interim dividends, which pop up during the year. They're a good sign, sure, but think of them as a maybe. The company can actually legally change its mind and cancel it if things get tough. But then you have the final dividend. Whoa, that's a different story. That is a rock-solid promise. Once it's announced, that company is legally obligated to pay you. So you can see the difference in commitment is huge. Okay, so you know what a dividend is, but how do you actually get that cash in your hands? Well, it all comes down to timing. And believe me, there are a few key dates that you absolutely have to understand. Let's walk through this calendar. First, you've got the declaration date. Simple enough. That's the official announcement. Next, and this one is the big one, the ex-dividend date. This is crucial. If you buy the stock on or after this day, you will not get the dividend. Why? Well, it's tied to the record date. That's the day the company literally takes a snapshot of its records to see who the official shareholders are. And finally, the best part, the payment date. That's when the money actually shows up in your account. So you might be wondering, why isn't this all instant? Why the delay between when I buy and when I'm an official owner? Well, it all boils down to this little rule called the T+2 settlement. It just means it takes 2 business days after your trade for everything to get processed and for your name to officially be on the company's books. Let's make this super simple. Say you buy a stock on a Monday. The whole system kind of processes it on Tuesday, and you're not actually the official shareholder until Wednesday. So what does that mean for you? It means to get that dividend, you have to buy the stock at least 2 business days before the record date. That's how you guarantee your name is on the list when they check. Now that we understand the timing, it leads us to this really tempting idea. It's a strategy, or maybe we should call it a trap, that a lot of new investors fall right into. I mean, it sounds like a perfect plan, right? A total no-brainer. Can you just swoop in, buy the stock right before it pays out, collect the dividend, and then immediately sell the stock for a quick and easy profit? It sounds like free money, doesn't it? But you know, the market is a little bit smarter than that.
Yeah, about that free money idea, here's what's really going on. A company's stock price reflects its total value. So if that company is about to pay out a 10 rupee dividend, that is 10 rupees of cash that is leaving the company. So to balance things out, the market almost always adjusts the share price down by about that same 10 rupees. You get the cash, but your stock is now worth a little less. Your net value is basically the same. You've just moved it from your stock pocket to your cash pocket.
And it's not just some accounting trick. It's pure, simple supply and demand. Think about it. If everybody is trying this get-rich-quick scheme, what do you think happens on the ex-dividend date? They all try to sell at the exact same time. That massive rush of sellers floods the market, which pushes the price down. So it is not a sure thing. Not at all. It's basically a coin flip, and that's not a strategy. Okay, so if that short-term trick is a trap, what's the real secret? How do the investing greats actually use dividends to build massive wealth? Well, it's a completely different mindset. It's a much more powerful strategy. It really all comes down to a concept so powerful that it was supposedly called the 8th wonder of the world by none other than Albert Einstein. And the idea is compounding.
And right here, this is it. This is the whole game. The secret isn't just about getting the dividends. It's about what you do with them next. The secret is reinvesting them.
Just look at how this beautiful cycle works. You start out with, say, 500 shares. The company pays you your dividend. Now, instead of cashing that out and spending it, you take that money and you buy 30 more shares. Boom! You now own 530 shares. So what happens next time? Well, your dividend is going to be bigger because you own more of the company, and you can use that bigger dividend to buy even more shares. You see, you've created your own personal growth machine. The legendary investor, Warren Buffett, has the absolute perfect name for this phenomenon. He calls it the snowball effect. And it's one of the principles that made him one of the wealthiest people on the planet. It is such a great way to picture it, isn't it? Imagine you start with a tiny little snowball at the top of a very long snowy hill. That's your first investment. As it starts rolling, it picks up a little more snow. That's your reinvested dividend. And the bigger that snowball gets, the more snow it picks up with every single turn, gaining mass and momentum, growing bigger and faster and faster. That is your wealth. Compounding. So let's just nail this down. That short-term dividend capture game, it's a gamble, a 50-50 shot, best case scenario. But the true long-term investor, they aren't thinking about today's payout. They're using those dividends as fuel. Fuel to buy more shares, to grow their ownership stake in great companies. Because real, life-changing wealth isn't built by jumping in and out of the market. It's built by staying in and letting that compounding snowball do its magic.
And at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one question you have to ask yourself. How you view dividends really defines your entire strategy. Are you just using them to build a small income, or are you using them as the building blocks to build a fortune? That's the question to think about.